Hello and welcome to the 36th edition of Humans of VIT, a part of the weekly newsletter, The Weekly Edge. The topic of today's edition is healthcare services and infrastructure. For this edition of Humans of VIT, we have a fellow VITian, a senior named Swastik Shukla, who is a part of a COVID help group and also part of many clubs such as MUNSOC, DEPSOC, ELA, DLA, and IOTHINK. Um, so, Swastik, how do COVID help groups play a role in providing medical assistance or plasma donors or any sort of help in this current situation?
Right. Hi. First of all, thanks a lot for having me here. And yeah, leading directly to your question, right? So the primary thing that health groups in general, provide assistance to is with, spreading leads, like getting information out. This information is essentially can be for plasma donation, blood donation, oxygen availability, be them, concentrators or cylinders or whatnot, availability of beds within multiple government or private hospitals, availability of vaccine, delivery sources, production, etc. And that is not just limited to remdesivir, it's also covaxin and whatnot, right? That is according to me, the primary work of these health groups, right? I mean, essentially everybody knows something about COVID, right? Because everybody is affected so much. So in general, a common platform such as a help group has like this huge database wherein you can just nitpick information according to your needs or something. Obviously, besides this information repository, there's this very important thing about providing that emotional and mental comfort, right? Because I mean, so more often than not, you see people are when they undergo that isolation, right? More often than not, they feel very lonely and something, right? Now, it's not necessary that every person that self-isolates has a family, or someone to look after them. So at that point of time, these help groups are very useful in reaching out to, or like talking to somebody. It's like something, it's like those medical help groups, right? Wherein, you just need to talk about something to someone. And I think this is something that is being very this is something that is very good, and is coming something that is coming up in a very well manner within the society in general, barring the government's role. I mean, it's very good to see people in general banding together under that common umbrella and helping each other out. So I mean, so that's just you aren't alone factor, and the information repository thing, I think that is what covers the primary usage of these health groups in the COVID situation.
Great. So, my next question would be, as a member of these help groups, where do you think that the COVID situation in India is currently, especially in the factor of medical facilities in India currently?
Oh, right. So it sort of saddens me to say this, but in general, the medical facility situation in India is bad. I mean, sure, people are being helped. Sure, we have, people being saved and, people recovering and whatnot. But like in general, the healthcare infrastructure right now is screwed up. And I'm saying this specifically because I live in a non-metropolitan city, right? I live in Raipur, Chhattisgarh, and I know what's happening in my city, right? Because the situation, especially after that second outbreak of this new mutation, the city I live in, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, deaths have spiked up to by 200% in Raipur. This is despite that Raipur being the capital city of a state, Chhattisgarh, and it directly being the working office of any and every health ministry within Chhattisgarh and the CM and whatnot, right? So it's I mean it's just like this, right? I mean, in general, we can continue blaming the central government for not providing enough vaccines, or we can continue blaming the state government for not giving those proper mechanisms. But I mean, in the end, it's just it's kind of sad because this medical facility in general also is heavily dependent upon the population, right? And population itself is not really aware about it per se, as in, sure, people are wearing masks, but they're wearing it in the wrong manner, like wearing it only on the nose, or like not wearing on the nose. I mean, people don't really pay specific attention to this until they hears about something happening to someone they're related to, or they're close to, like someone in their vicinity, right? And this is what just saddens me, right? Because I mean, there are lockdowns, there are enforcement mechanisms to keep people within their house, but like is just in general failing, right? I mean, the authorities again, it's just that the authorities are in general are trying their best to help people out, but this is what is at least happening from at least in my spirit. People aren't really paying heed to what is going on, right? And this is essentially why you know so I along with some of my friends have started this Raipur COVID resources thingy in my society, in my actually city district in general. It's just that one of those initiatives, right? We are doing a fundraiser. We are making a huge repository of anything and everything that is going on around in Raipur. Any and every leads. These leads are verified by our whole team, right? Essentially, and so we are reaching out to as many people as we can, helping them, right? I get calls at 3 a.m. in the night saying, "Ki, sir, we saw your page on Instagram. Do you know about this oxygen availability in this district or whatever?" And we help them, right? And this is something that we should not be doing, but have to do, specifically because the healthcare infrastructure isn't viable or isn't that legitimate to support in general. I mean, it's just sad.
Yeah, it surely is sad, and an initiative like that is like it could bridge the gap in some ways, right? My final question would be, how much assistance do you get as a help group from people in general and from concerned authorities, especially when you need to get some medical information?
Right. So first and foremost, I do not wish to put anything in a negative light, because I mean, all of us genuinely need to understand that people are inherently good in nature, right? Which means they are genuinely trying to help. And the situation is so bad that everybody, specifically working in the medical profession, are overburdened with the number of with the huge number of patients, with the limited amount of healthcare provisions that they have, etc. I mean, just recently you saw this news, right, wherein this doctor committed suicide because he couldn't handle so many patients, he couldn't see so many patients dying under his care. I mean, it broke my heart, right? And I mean, adding on to that, so you see, because everybody is overburdened, the mental situation, what I personally understand is everybody is a bit erratic, right? Which means at a point of time, I, as a member of the help group Raipur.covid.resources, reach out to a particular hospital just to get confirmations about how many beds do they have or whatnot. We either are usually responded in a normal generic manner, yes sir, this is the general provision, these many are occupied and these many are free and whatnot. But more often, but B, more often than not, what we are met with is that one common answer, that numbers, dear sir, numbers are very dynamic, they are continuously going up or going down. If you genuinely wish to know what is going on, do come to the hospital, right? And this is something that we do not appreciate, because I should not have to physically go to the hospital, exposing myself to certain risks in order just to know what the situation in the hospital is, right? And obviously there is so much lack of management staff within hospitals, right? I mean, literally 80 to 85% of resources of a hospital are devoted specifically to COVID, which means they're taking away resources from other general aid, right? Especially in my city, right? Which means that even if we do reach out to these concerned authorities for that medical information, even for non-COVID related problems, we are just met with a lot of either a time lag, which means they need to get back to us. When they say that they'll get back to us in 10 minutes, they get back to us in 14 or 15 hours literally. Or that they give us some information that is obviously randomly gets changed within the next hour. So we have to continuously verify it with different sources within the same hospital. Now that multiplied by multiple hospitals around the city, that multiplied by literally every health group working throughout different cities throughout the country, right? It's just, I mean, you can term it as a moderate amount of help, but I mean, you can't really blame anybody because of the situation that is happening, right? And that is essentially why the help groups that I formed, or not just me, it's in multiple, so many people have formed, is so important, right? It's seen as a good initiative, and it helps as an extended help of these medical facilities who cannot directly help you. And that is what we do. We help people by by bridging that gap, as you yourself said in your last statement, right? We bridge the gap between those and those. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Swastik, for all your insights, and thank you so much for you, the viewers, for watching this, the sixth edition of Humans of VIT. Also, do go check out this week's edition of the Weekly Edge newsletter that will be coming, and also do check the comment section for information regarding various COVID groups for which you could contribute, and also do like, share, and comment on this video. And also do follow us on our Instagram page for further updates. And if you would like to be part of a future Humans of VIT edition, you could surely drop a comment on this video or DM us on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching.